Shut up. And RC, I want you to give me one team in the National Football League that needs to put up or shut up.
It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers have to find a way to get a franchise quarterback. Since Big Ben was down the last stretch of his career, they've been from Duck Hodges to Mason Rudolph to Kenny Pickett. Last year, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson in that quarterback carousel. They need to find a guy. And now what are we doing? We're sitting around waiting for breadcrumbs from Aaron Rodgers. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you got to get this right. So if Shedeur Sanders starts to fall, will Omar Khan, the general manager, move up and make the big play? Even if you have Aaron Rodgers in the building, are you going to draft another guy to develop behind him? The Pittsburgh Steelers have to find a way to get out of quarterback purgatory, because not only are they in quarterback purgatory, they can't win a freaking playoff game.
Yates, you have the Steelers drafting Jackson Dart at 21 in your most recent mock draft. Mel Kiper, whose mock is out today, you do not. You have them taking the defensive tackle Derek Harmon from Oregon. So, Mel, what are you looking at as far as the Steelers' quarterback plan?
I think they would see too much Kenny Pickett with Jackson Dart. Not enough greatness potential there, but Shedeur is the interesting one, because if he gets into that middle portion of round one, say, oh, we can wait it out. We'll wait till he falls in our lap. Well, somebody else going to go up and get him ahead of you. So it'll be interesting if he gets past New Orleans. I think when you look at where we are right now with the Steelers, we've gone 21 years since they've had a losing season, which was 03, but they've gone, 9 years since winning a playoff game. So it's all about quarterback play. Terry Bradshaw, Ben Roethlisberger, and then what else? I thought Justin Fields was going to be their guy. I did not think they'd let Justin Fields leave the building. He wanted to be in the same offense 2 straight years. He's not afforded that opportunity. It left me scratching my head. I got fewer hairs up there now on this, talk about year to year losing hair after hair. But I think when you look at the Steelers, they have to be aggressive, because if Shedeur gets into the middle of the first round, I do believe you could see maybe the Giants or somebody else go up and get him ahead of them. So it'll be interesting to see if they wait to see if he falls in their lap, or they make a move to get Shedeur Sanders.
Field, it's worth a reminder to everybody that the Steelers traded away their second-round pick to get DK Metcalf, so they don't have as much ammunition to make a trade as some other teams might. How do you see it, Field?
It's a great point right there by you, Greeny. They no longer have that pick number 52 that belongs to Seattle. There is no team in the first round that I like as a fit more for Shedeur Sanders than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why? Well, because obviously the Steelers do need a quarterback. Even if Aaron Rodgers signs tomorrow, he's going to be 42 in early December. You have to think about the future. But also, a part of drafting Shedeur Sanders that we can't ignore is there are some people that are daunted by everything, the charisma that comes with Shedeur Sanders, the son of Deion Sanders, the bright lights that have been around him for the entirety of his football career. You know who's not going to be? It's Mike Tomlin. You know Shedeur Sanders is going to immediately respect the minute he walks into that facility is Mike Tomlin, a proven winner, a Super Bowl winning head coach, 18 straight seasons without a losing record as a head coach. The Steelers got to find a way to get back from good to great. RC knows the standard is not making the playoffs. The standard is winning meaningful playoff games and eventually a 7th Lombardi trophy. It would require some patience, perhaps the kind of patience that makes you sweat in the draft room waiting until pick number 21. But if he gets there and I'm Pittsburgh, that to me is the pick you're making.
Mel, real quick.
Real quick. While Tom Brady didn't have the strongest arm, he was in New England. He had great success. So this notion where you can't win in Pittsburgh if you're Shedeur Sanders with an average arm or slightly above average arm, whatever you want to call it, Tom Brady proved that wrong. But I will say that's the factor that I think goes in the favor of the Saints is the dome. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Shedeur there, not ideal, but like I say, Brady did win in New England.
I get it. We'll come back to that as we continue. We've got to take a quick break here. We're getting so much from the draft. 2 weeks.
You want somebody that doesn't flinch in big spots, clutch quarterback. What's he lacking? I go to Johnny Unitas, Peyton Manning, right? Tom Brady, okay? Think about Kurt Warner, Drew Brees, Joe Montana. What did they all do? They won from the pocket. They didn't have the greatest arms. They weren't the most mobile quarterbacks. But all those areas I checked, all those boxes were checked, are critical. Everybody wants that. You want toughness. You want accuracy, precise passing, decision-making. That's what everybody screams about after Ryan knows that, RC knows that on Monday. What are you talking about? Bad decision. Inaccurate throw. Didn't stand tough in that, hang tough in the pocket, right? Didn't sense things. Wasn't smart enough. Didn't have the instincts. Shedeur has all that.
That's the point. And yet the things he doesn't have, again, not as an evaluator, which I am not, but he doesn't have, he's not huge. Yep. He's not incredibly fast. He doesn't have all those sort of things. He doesn't have the cannon for an arm. Your buddy Dan Orlovsky and mine said it's the hardest evaluation he's had to make on a quarterback since he's been doing this. I mean, 9 is still pretty high, but it's not as high as 3. Where are you on Shedeur?
But I think Shedeur going 9 is, in Mel's mock draft, is it kind of signifies what Dan is saying, right? You see all those things that Mel said, right? You see the accuracy, you see the toughness. He played behind some makeshift offensive lines. He was the guy that could put the football wherever you wanted to put it. To me, Shedeur Sanders walks into the league day one and is a good starting quarterback in the NFL because of all of those reasons. All of those things that you feel like you have to teach a quarterback, Shedeur Sanders already has. But the reason that he may fall to 9 is because he doesn't have a lot of those things that you can't teach. He doesn't have the cannon arm. He doesn't have the height. He doesn't have this running ability that we've all fell in love with from the quarterback position. But if you bring a quarterback in and you say, I want him to be on time, Shedeur Sanders is that. I want him to be cute that well early as well. And so whatever team gets him, gets a quarterback that they can plug and play early on this season.
Field.
Greeny, I think you have to evolve with the times right now. And all the references that Mel made, those are all great players. But who was the one that was like the most recent quarterback? Tom Brady, who I guess retired a few years ago. But Johnny Unitas retired like, what, 60 years ago? Like, we are in a different era of quarterback play. However you want to stack the quarterbacks at the very top of the NFL, your first 5 are going to include some order of Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, players of that archetype. Yes, we do have guys like Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins, who was not successful last year, Matthew Stafford. But the reality is 20 to 25 of today's top NFL starting quarterbacks in the league are guys who can win with their mobility as well. There's the answer. Thank you, Hembo. Nearly 60 years ago, 1973, for Johnny Unitas. Shedeur has everything that Mel mentioned. The question I have will continue to be, can he play urgently enough in the pocket? He took the most sacks in all the FBS last season. That's an offensive line stat, but it's also a quarterback stat. Can he get himself out of trouble? And the reality is, if he goes high to the Giants or the Saints, offensive line play, not great. This is not going to the Lions, Mel, where they had that 5 layers of protection for Jared Goff to thrive behind.
Oh, Mel is mad.
Yeah, I need 10 minutes to unpack all this, not a minute that I have or 50 seconds. But I think, Field, you're showing your youth, pal, because guess what? Tom Brady was 44 years of age, young Fielding, when he won a Super Bowl, and he did it from the pocket. For Shedeur Sanders, one thing was overlooked at that pro day. Forget about throwing the ball at the pro day. What was overlooked was the professionalism, the care about his teammates, and what a professional he will be right away. He was talking about, hey, my guys are running routes. I'm just throwing the football. Why do you say I don't throw a fastball all the time? Because I want to make it easier for my receivers. These are the subtle things. These are the intangibles that Shedeur has. People are worried about how he threw the ball at the pro day. Who the hell cares? Okay, it's a pro day. Okay, it doesn't matter. Peyton Manning had a horrible pro day. And I heard the same things about Peyton Manning I'm hearing about Shedeur. When Peyton Manning had his pro day, I heard if his name was Peyton Jones, it'd be a 3rd-round pick. How'd that turn out? I heard the same things about Shedeur. If his name was Shedeur Jones, it'd be a 3rd-round pick. It's all BS.
Well, you know what? Daniel Jones should have been a 3rd-round pick since we're sticking with the Joneses, Mel. Get hype, Mel.
Hey, Daniel Jones beat Kirk Cousins on the road in a playoff game and got a big contract.
Now we got it going. Hey, come on.
Daniel Jones was no bust.
There are very few hard, fast rules in life.
Turn Mel up, man.
One of them is you do not.
You aren't walking away when he beat Kirk in that playoff.
Yo, what's going on, my good people? Welcome to the channel. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. I'm your host, S. Dot, and you've reached your Sports Minute, where we talk about the world of sports. You give your side, I give my side. We chop it up, we come to a middle point. Something like that. Well, let's get into the topics, my friends. Looks like today, your boy RC, Ryan Clark, he had a lot to say about the Steelers. The Steelers being in limbo with their quarterback position. Let me just say, the Steelers, ever since Big Ben, the Big Ben era, they've moved like they're not a championship team. Ever since the Big Ben era, the Steelers have shown that they were leaning on Big Ben like he was going to play forever. They never put in perspective that, hey, sometime in the middle of his career when he started getting injured in the latter parts, that maybe we need to look for a quarterback to replace the big guy. They thought Big Ben was going to be there until the end of time. First off, showing that the quarterback position was never going to be filled by anybody else but Big Ben. They put themselves in such a bind waiting on Aaron Rodgers because they're trying to get something close to Big Ben as possible. Well, let me tell you, Steeler fans, your squad will not win a championship over the next 5 years. Reason being, they don't have any plans. They don't have any ideas. They don't have anything in motion. They're resting on their laurels on their past championships to try to get their team back in order. The Steelers, over the last couple of years, have been 10-7 in the last season. 10-7. They were a 6th seed in the AFC. We got 18 straight non-losing seasons under Mike Tomlin. They lost to the Ravens 28-14 in the wild card, the longest active postseason losing streak in NFL history. They're the second team in NFL history to lose 5 straight games after having won 10 or more in the regular season / playoffs. I want y'all to listen to what RC was chopping it up about. He was letting y'all know Mike Tomlin might not be there. The rest of the squad is going to be different than what y'all are used to. For the simple fact, they thought Big Ben was going to be their savior for life. And now they got this diva, Aaron Rodgers, holding out on them. Holding out on them like they're like he's going to come through and save them. Like some kind of messiah. Not going to happen. I'm just here to tell you. I just want to say, Steeler fans, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know how y'all feel about this situation. How do y'all feel about how the Pittsburgh Steelers are moving since the Big Ben era? Are they moving like a team that is stuck? Like they can't do anything else unless they get a player like Big Ben? Or are they moving like a team that's making the right adjustments? You've gotten my opinion. I don't know what else to say about them. I mean, it's kind of sad for a team who has the multiple championships that they have to move like a squad, like they're the Browns or something, like they're the Bengals, you know? But enough about the Steelers. Let's move on to the draft. You got quarterback Shedeur Sanders now looking like he's going to be the 9th pick overall going to the Saints. I like that draft pick. I like it. I think Shedeur Sanders would do good with the Saints. You know, with Alvin Kamara being in the backfield, the weapons they have out there with the wide receiver core. I think Shedeur Sanders would do good with the Saints. I hope he doesn't go to the Browns. I sure as hell don't want him to go to the Giants so he can sit the bench behind Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. That would just be a moronic move with the talent that Shedeur Sanders brings to the NFL. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. I think the 9th pick overall going to the Saints is a good look for him and his career. I mean, some of the stats that Shedeur brings, he's the number 2 quarterback prospect in the 2025 NFL Draft according to Scouts Incorporated. In the 2024 Big Game 12 Offensive POI, 2024 Second Team AP All-American. He is the first in FBS in comp points, 74, second in pass touchdowns, 37, and 4th in yards with 4,134 yards in the 2024 season. I see him being a good look for the Saints. Let me know how y'all feel, Saint fans. Y'all might be getting Shedeur Sanders, which y'all know that's a legendary name. Y'all know what he was bred to do. Y'all know what kind of, mentality and thoroughbred, he was born to be. How y'all feel about that? Let me know how y'all feel in the comments so we can start that discussion. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers can't be a Steelers quarterback. It's just not a good fit. You know? I mean, I don't know what else to say. The Steelers, they're just sad right now. They're not looking like a championship team. They're looking like a team that has no clue on what to do. No clue on how to move. Unless it's somebody like Big Ben. You feel me? So, with that being said, I'm your host, S. Dot. Don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And most of all, let your voice be heard. Go ahead and hit that comment section and let me know how y'all feel. Steeler fans, let me know where y'all at on the situation with the Aaron Rodgers and the Big Ben post Big Ben era. Let me know where y'all at, Saint fans. Shedeur Sanders might be your next commander-in-chief. Might be your next leader. Shedeur Sanders, Saint fans, might be y'all savior. He might be what y'all looking for. You never know. But, Philadelphia Eagle fans, rise up. Hit the comment section. Let all of them know. Let the Saint fans. Let the Steeler fans. Let the whole NFC East know we going back to the bowl, baby. Because that's what we do. And that's how strong we are and confident we are. We going back to the Super Bowl. Eagle fans, rise up. Let them know we ain't going to have no Super Bowl hangover. Because that Super Bowl, that last Super Bowl against Kansas City, that wasn't even a match. That right there, that was a practice. I mean, that was no competition. Y'all seen the score. It was like 35-0 before we allowed them to score. It was an exciting game being an Eagle fan watching that, but I know being a Kansas City fan, I know y'all were just in the pits. Go ahead and hit that comment section, Kansas City fans. Let me know how y'all feel post Super Bowl. You know? Because our Eagle fans, y'all know where we stand. Strong with that front four. With all of our rookies and those rookie contracts. Howie Roseman doing this thing. Hey, what can I say? Philly birds for life. Fly, Eagles fly. Appreciate y'all making it this far, man. I'm your host, S. Dot. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, and most of all, let your voice be heard. Leave a comment. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Alright? Peace.